How's it going, people? And welcome back to another episode of the Top 6 show. Welcoming back Ant-Man, Nana, and bringing forward to the show is Ashish, a Liverpool fan, Wes, Tottenham fan, and Adrian, United and season ticket holder, fresh back from the 3-0 yesterday. You know what? I like Adrian, though. That's the thing. He's not like your typical United fan. I'm not like. That's why I don't want to go too much into it. But yeah, that's the big news of the week. 3-0 Tottenham at Old Trafford, a ground they're notoriously not good at. But yeah, look at Wesley smiling, Adrian just there. But we'll start with Adrian. How do you feel about last night's game?
Do you know what? Shocked. Considering how well United played in that first half, I don't think anyone could have predicted Tottenham walking out with that 3-0. You think United should have gone into half-time leading. Lukaku, for me, had the best chance out of anyone in that game.
Yeah, it goes 1-0, it's a different story.
That's it. When he went round the Reese, I was already celebrating because I was certain. I jumped out my seat. I was already celebrating because I was thinking, easy, bruv, just tap the ball in.
And when you see the images after, it makes it even worse. Like in real time, you think, oh, it might have been tight, but the image after the goal was just there. How do you feel about Lukaku? Let's start there. How do you feel about him?
Do you know what? For someone who cost 75 million, I expected more, bruv. Honestly, I expected more out of him because I'm thinking to myself, at Everton, this guy was putting goals away for fun. Even though Lukaku's the type of striker who isn't complete, because I admit he's probably got one of the worst touches for a striker. I've said it to so many people. If he had like a Berbatov first touch, I reckon he'd be more complete. That's something he needs to work on, man. Seriously, Lukaku for me isn't a complete striker.
Yeah, especially in the Prem nowadays, you need your striker to kind of hold up play well, link up play well. You need him to bring in the wingers. But do you think it's a Lukaku problem or a Jose issue?
Do you know what? Lukaku, for me, he needs the service. If we had proper wingers that can cross in balls to him, he's got the strength, he's got the height to win the ball in the air and beat defenders. If he had that kind of service, we'd get more out of him. So, to be a Jose Mourinho issue, I kind of feel in a way if Mourinho got what he wanted from the board, then it wouldn't be such a massive problem. But Jose, as you know, you see how he shows off his frustrations because he's not getting what he wants. So then it has an impact on the team as well. So that's why the team is suffering.
Yeah, so like going back to the performance last night, when you look at the Brighton performance, you can say the players didn't put in the effort. You deserve to lose. But yesterday, like you said, the first half he was all over them.
Yeah.
Do you put the loss down to Mourinho, or do you put the loss down to these missed chances and the players themselves last night?
Do you know what? The players have to be held accountable. There's only so much Mourinho could do. The players have to be held accountable. If they look at how they played in that first half, that's probably the best 45 minutes I've seen for United for the last 5-6 years. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
6 years?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Since Fergie. So you know what I mean? So if they had taken their chances, that second half could have been completely different. They would have gone in, their heads would have been up. But then second half, I just thought, all right, it's 0-0. Let's just go for Tottenham just like we did in the first half. Silly mistakes. Of all people, you give Harry Kane a free chance at goal, bruv. It's stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that then, Wes, obviously happy. What do you think about yesterday?
I mean, to come away from Old Trafford with a 3-0 win first and foremost is the best result that any Tottenham fan can ask for. But I think it boils down to what football is about, being clinical. And I mean, United dominated us in that first half. We didn't really get close to you guys. Pace you guys set was high. But I mean, if you're not taking your chances and you're getting clean-cut chances like Lukaku had, you can't be doing that at this level of football.
No.
I mean, Tottenham at the moment, we have the run of play. Like, everything seems to be going our way at the moment. We come off the back of a good World Cup with some of our players. And I mean, Harry Kane at the moment is just Harry Kane. I mean, everyone wants him in their team.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it boiled down to. And as soon as Harry got that one, I mean, Mourinho's been like a complete new signing for us. He didn't really feature for us last year, but already this year he's doing bits at the moment. I mean, against Fulham, he was awesome and probably going to get goal of the month for that. But going back to Man United, I mean, it wasn't the greatest goal, but the build-up and the link-up play and the more just to scrap it in for the second goal sort of buried you guys.
Yeah, it looks like he's grasped Pochettino's methods now and he's ready to be in the Tottenham team. Like when he first came in, it probably was a bit difficult for him. Going from a PSG side that's probably walking the league, they can go out and play how they like to play, to a Tottenham team who's structured, who need good balance, who understand their place in the league, but obviously know at the same time they can challenge with the quality they have. So
Yeah, I mean, we didn't sign anyone, so the transfer window for us in the start of the season is very different to everybody else. But I mean, Lucas Moura coming in now, and it seems like he's going to be a feature for us moving forward for the rest of the season. I think, to be honest, in regards to Man United, I think the best thing Poch could have done was bring Danny Rose back in, because Ben Davies has been ticking the boxes and filling the slot. But let's be honest, where does he fit moving forward for Tottenham? Like, Danny Rose has got pace, he's got power, he drives at players. And I think tactically, to make that decision when Danny Rose has been frozen out of the Tottenham team and he's now back in, I mean, that was, for me, a very positive decision for someone that hasn't had that. You're showing that kind of confidence. And I mean, if these players can come back in, and also Alderweireld, so him coming back in as well, and you know, doing bits at the beginning of the season as well, I think confidence for Tottenham now moving forward, coming off the back of that, I mean, this weekend should be good for us.
And the thing is that you lot still, Lamella's still to come in and Son is still to come in. Moura's performing well on the right side, but Son has kind of owned the right side for the last couple of years. So it's kind of it's a good problem to have right now. Arsenal, we fucking lack wingers right now. You get what I'm saying? So it's annoying at the same time. But I forget about Son because Son's productive.
Yeah, but I mean, would you take out Lucas Moura now? I mean, he's stuck one in the top bin against Fulham.
You know what? You can't. Obviously, Lucas Moura is definitely more talented than Son. Son's more of a workhorse. He gets his chances through work rate. He gets in the right positions. But Moura probably adds more to your team. Stretches, width, take some pressure off Kane, Ali, Ericsson in a sense.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're going back to the Man United game. You guys dominated that first half, but you weren't clinical. I mean, Lukaku should have scored. And you know, I think we're going to touch on Mourinho at some point anyway, but I think, you know, if that is a different manager, Lukaku scores that. I think if you've got to look at how Chelsea went and then how he is at Man United now, it's a lot of pressure for these guys.
Can't blame the manager for him not burying that, bro. Come on.
No, but football's a game of pressure.
That's why I say the
You
players
got to do your job, though.
That's why I say players have to be held accountable.
You have to be held accountable and stuff like that, but it's not just one small area. This is filtering through all of Man United. I mean, you have to look at how many players or first team players have been frozen out of Man United's first team.
Well, look at Martial. He wasn't even in the squad. Bailly wasn't in the squad. Pereira.
Okay.
All these mannies literally just shifted out the team.
Okay.
Look at
but
that.
Are these guys who have they not produced at this level? Are they doing bits at this level?
They could do better.
In previous seasons, they've done little bits and pieces, but Mourinho has come in now, shaking things up a little bit, and now everyone's not really sure where their place lies. Everyone's on edge.
Like, now we're on Jose. Like, I'm gonna go around every single one here. Yeah. Hypothetically speaking, let's say Man United go into this weekend and they don't win, draw or lose. Jose and Arat round it up in about 2 sentences. Adrian. Out. So you don't need to explain nothing. Just out. What about you? Would it be in or out for you?
Me personally, or what I think?
Yeah, obviously you're a fan of Chelsea, but looking at United now.
No, it needs time. God, it's too early in the season for me. You'll be in.
I'm gonna say in for my own reasons. Yeah, obviously, but yeah, no.
Yeah, in.
Is that for your own reasons or because you like no? I mean, like Ant-Man would
I don't
give him
care
time.
about Man U, but like, obviously, their misery is Man City's like happiness, innit? So, if Mourinho stays, there's not much Man United fans can say to Man City fans. And the longer he stays, the worse the football's gonna be, the funnier the banter's gonna be. But like Ant-Man said, like, on a real note, like, it's only 3 games, like, really and truly. Like, if this was the situation in like December, January, then cool, he should be golden. But obviously, 3 games, who knows? By December, they could be second top. You never know.
Wesley,
So, yeah.
they don't win this weekend going into the
You said 2
international break.
sentences, right? I say Mourinho stays. I think Mourinho's a man for pressure, and I think he'll turn it around. I think he's that guy.
Ace?
I think he's in. I think if United are going to try and be the United way, they've got to keep him, not sack him.
So it's just one out, and the rest of us want him in. I think it's a mix of, like, obviously we want him in because we want United to continue this downfall. And
Nah, but you want him in the Prem as well, in general. His character. The Prem wouldn't be the same without Mourinho.
He adds more like to the matches as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course he's a character, and like he comes out, and now Wenger's gone. These interviews, like now you see of Jose, they're the comedic.
That's the
I'm
funniest
not gonna
thing.
lie, like looking at his interview yesterday, it seems like he was waiting for Wenger to go before he brought this 3 league titles.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't say that until Wenger's gone. He had that in his back pocket for a little while. But was he waiting for a 3-0 as well? Because that's my thing with Jose. He has these quotes and stuff, but it's like he's ready for the. His ammunition is loaded before the game, and I feel like as a manager that must reflect onto your players before the game. If you're ready to, after the game, you know you're potentially going to lose, and you're ready with these quotes. If you're ready with this and that, how can that?
I don't think he was ready with the quotes. I just think it's just something that just kind of came about.
I think he was just backed into a corner.
Yeah, like he was just defending himself.
When has Jose been backed into a corner?
I don't think he came thinking, we're going to lose 3-0 today, and this is what I'm going to say to the media.
The media just winds him up.
Winds him up
so easily.
He had no reply.
Yeah.
He had no reply. Usually he's got something slick to say.
Yeah, so you have to go to his records.
And he did. It was slick
It
what
was
he
slick
said.
in the end,
It was,
innit?
but it just seems a bit obviously
Childish.
coming from the man that's called Wenger a specialist in failure, and said he wins stuff and this and that.
Is he back in Wenger, yeah?
Regarding that situation, Jose and Wenger, some of the things Jose said I agree with regarding Wenger, but some of the things he went overboard with, like punch him in his face, this and that. That's why he said that in his book. Like, how are you going to say
I
that?
saw Wenger push him.
Yeah, and Wenger put it on him on the sideline, and Jose wasn't on it, so I don't know, he's just a talker, innit?
Tit for tat.
So I'm glad to see this happening to him. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm glad to see it happening to him, because right now, he's reminding me of Wenger. He's stubborn, tactics are out of date. The only thing I can say is the players like playing under Wenger because they could just do what they like, whereas under Jose, it looks like they don't like it, and they're going to get him out eventually.
Well, Jose's rattling a few cages. I mean, him and Pogba is obviously a situation that's affecting the whole of the United team. Pogba is the star of United, and Mourinho is Mourinho. So it's like, where do these two fit in the same boat? There's too much ego.
Yeah, and
too much arrogance.
You've got to fit Pogba's agent into this as well, Riola, because he's rattling a lot of cages. He's throwing in a lot of stuff. He's even attacking United legends. And even what he said about Paul Scholes the other day, I'm thinking, how do you say that about a legend like Scholes? So yeah, there's serious
no respect in football no more. There's no respect,
Nah,
there's nothing
none.
anymore in football, to be honest. It's just money, and that's it at the end of the day.
It's all money. It's all money.
Yeah, alright then, that's it for United Tottenham. Moving on to Ant-Man. I think you guessed the result right last week. Scatty game, 2-1 Chelsea. How do you feel about that performance Sunday?
It was a good performance, I feel. Like, the way Newcastle set up, it was difficult for us to penetrate. We've done well with the passing, keeping possession. As I said, I knew it was going to be a scatty one, 2-1. Definitely a pen. Don't want to hear no arguments on that one. It was definitely a pen. I thought they were going to grab the draw at the end, I'll be honest. I was a bit nervous, but obviously when Hazard wants that win.
To me, it wasn't a pen, and it was justified. They got that elbow, Giroud, they got that decision.
First of all, the Giroud should have been a foul, but as I said, it's football, stuff happens. But Alonso, his foot was over the ball, rolled through and caught Alonso. So his foot shouldn't be, his foot shouldn't be over the ball anyway. His foot shouldn't be over the ball in the challenge. Is that not football rules?
Shouldn't be, but it wasn't
Especially in the
malicious.
box. Whether it's malicious or not, it's a foul.
I can't talk to Chelsea fans about these decisions. I'm not going to be honest about it. Do you get me? So,
No, it's a good game. I see Sarri's tactics are starting to be implemented. And that's the pace on the attack is a lot quicker than last season. With Conte, it was a lot more about drawing out the game and going up as a team. Where now the passes are travelling a lot further, a lot quicker.
Under the radar, you lot have won 3 out of 3 so far. So doing well. New manager, transition. Can't really compare. Anyone got anything to say about Chelsea?
Ain't really much to say. We're doing well.
I mean, Chelsea haven't had a major test this season. I mean, they got through Arsenal, but with what's going on at Arsenal at the moment, is it a major test? I think we'll see a bit more about Chelsea.
Still a test for Sarri in the Prem though.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a bit more about Chelsea when they come against a Mourinho or they come against a Man City.
Well, Liverpool, he's leaving Liverpool. It's going to be a huge
Of course,
test.
it's an early season. I keep saying it's an early season.
I don't think, Chelsea are not going to be up there at the end of the season, but I think that it's too early to say they've had a test. I think Arsenal are complete for a restructure. Like, it's too early to call Arsenal, not necessarily a top 4 team, but it's too early to say that they're going to go at it the same way they were. As we're used to knowing Arsenal.
Arsenal look like a top 8 right now.
That's a bit rude there. I like that though.
Anyone else want to say anything? Nana, you laughed You laughed last week when I said 4-1, so don't be laughing again now, because we're moving on to Man City
Bruv,
next. And I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to say this on this show, but City have dropped points, yeah? How do you feel about that, Nana?
It's alright. You can't win every game. We didn't win every game last season. It's alright. We drew to Everton early on last year. We've done it again. We didn't play bad. We didn't play great. It's just one of those games. You just have to get over it and go again. To be fair, it's just little things that we normally get right. Little 5-yard passes here and there, little touches. This wasn't really clicking. But yeah, I just think we need to find like a balance in our attack right now. It's either too many central players on the pitch or too many wide players on the pitch.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, obviously, this is you dropped the first points of the season. Would you change anything going into the next weekend, or would you stick with? Actually, but to be honest, Sterling has played twice, has been on the bench once.
Yeah.
So what would you do, winger wise?
To be fair, what made us successful last year was how wide our wingers were able to stay and the ball traveling to them, and then other players come inside. But now it's like Bernardo Silva will get the ball. His first instinct would be to go inside. Whereas if Sterling got the ball on the right, his first instinct would be to take it out wide and then come inside. So right now we're a bit overloaded, either wingers wise or central players wise. But I think KDB's injuries kind of disrupted that, because if he's not injured, then we know exactly what we're doing. But now he's not injured, I think he's trying to sort out a problem, and he hasn't quite got it yet. So
Yeah, obviously as a big player, that's probably your biggest player from last season.
Of
So
course.
to miss him is a big loss. But
yeah.
boys, so you're not too worried about the drop points. You just think it's one
It
of them
happens.
away
One of them
days in
games,
England.
Yeah, we're gonna get one of them every now and again. Everyone's gonna get them. Some teams will lose them, but obviously a draw's not a bad point.
Everyone else agree? Like just a blip in the City.
I like humble Nana. I like humble Nana.
Bro, I'm a realist, fam.
City are too strong in depth, though. Let's be honest. I mean,
They got
yes,
two
Kevin
first
De
teams.
Bruyne's out, and I think
Basically, you got two first teams.
Yeah, I think even though Kevin De Bruyne's out and it leaves a sort of maybe a small hole in centre midfield, I think their firepower going from the width and coming back inside is going to be too strong overall.
Yeah, like I said, Sterling played 2, has been on the bench once. Sané hasn't started the game yet. Mahrez started 2.
Just a,
Man, they got too much talent up there.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Pep should be, throwing too much of that around. I think he should stick to his system and go with that, because he's obviously trying to keep players fresh. You got Champions League coming up and stuff like that. Fair enough, have your Champions League outfit, but don't go crazy with flipping the Premiership, because it doesn't work. It didn't work the other day, and that's the problem. He hasn't set anything up yet.
Exactly.
He hasn't set his squads, and it's cost them.
He's still trying to figure out his best attacking lineup. And the more he changes it, the more difficult it will be, because there will be no chemistry between the forward players, you know what I mean? Last year we knew Sané getting the ball, you're getting a Sterling tap in from the back post. And then if Sterling gets the ball, you're getting a Sané run come inside the box. But this season, whereas, like I said on previous shows, Mahrez tends to want to cut in a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's
more
not
goal scoring.
Yeah,
mentality.
that's not really what made us a success last season.
So what do you? So obviously City didn't do much in the summer. Personally, I think it's Mendy coming in that has caused maybe more of an imbalance to the squad, because I feel like Mendy playing means Sané's on the bench, because Mendy owns that wing. Whereas when Sané plays, it's better to have a defensive left back who won't bomb forward too much, because Sané owns the wing as well. Or do you think it's Mahrez coming in that's caused the imbalance?
Yeah, I think Mahrez coming in has caused not an imbalance, but just more of a problem for him, because regardless of if Mendy was there or not, like Sané will play. But now it's like Bernardo Silva's doing really well. I can't leave him out. David Silva's a legend. You can't leave him out. Like, his influence is always needed. Do you know what I mean?
So do you think you needed to buy Mahrez?
He adds competition to the team, because it could have become a situation where complacency might have kicked in. Because Sterling and Sané might have rolled up every day thinking, I'm playing on Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
But do you think now it's created a problem where, Sterling had the season of his career last year, so now he's been left out already and put on the bench to accommodate this new winger who's come in, who's come from Leicester, done bits at Leicester. Like, every player has to stand out in every team. Every team has one player. It doesn't matter where you are. But what's happening now is that City have given themselves a problem that they didn't really need.
I don't think it's a bad problem necessarily, because in the case of Sterling, he wants a big money contract, show us. Let's go again. Can you go again? With an addition of a player of the quality of Mara, like, can you go again?
It's like a long-term sign. Let's see what happens.
Or was it just a one-season thing with Sterling? Because I'm a big fan, but my problem with him is his finishing. So last year he was really good, much better than I expected. So was it because, I don't know.
So do you think his confidence been knocked by the signing of Mahrez?
I don't think he's been knocked. I saw him against Arsenal and he looked very lively. He looked like, I'm back to business Sterling. But what I'm trying to say is, can he go again? Can we get the same consistency? Can we get the same kind? I'm not sure he's going to put up the same numbers, but something along those lines of those numbers he put up last season.
Yeah, but what you're seeing now is where Mahrez has come in, he's not getting as much game time already. We've seen that.
But he's played more times than Mahrez has.
Yeah, but they're pulling him off and he hasn't started games.
Who? Sterling?
Yeah.
He started 2.
Yeah.
Against Arsenal and Wolves.
Out of the third, so why would you put him on the bench?
You know what it is, I think as well, yeah, obviously with this whole player versus manager thing, yeah, I think City's a team or City's a squad and Pep's a manager. He's probably looking at it like, if these rumours of Sterling asking for 300 bags is true, that's kind of like a player versus team, not manager thing, but a player versus the board thing. Man City are probably like, hold on, we can buy a player and shut you up in a sense. Either you prove it or you can go next summer. So maybe that's what they're doing with him. And Aguero, I still don't think Aguero, like Pep is Aguero's biggest fan, and I think in the long term he wants Mahrez to maybe come in slotting for more goals and Jesus to be the main man and be there for Firmino in a sense, link up man.
I wouldn't say not his biggest fan. I just think he wanted more out of Aguero. Like, he wanted to take Aguero's work rate to another level. And I think this season he's kind of liked it because he's come out a couple of times and praised Aguero and said how sharp he looks, the sharpest he's ever looked since he's been at the club. With the Jesus thing, they're thinking long term, do you know what I mean? That Aguero's not going to be there forever. We know this. He said this in previous seasons, even before we got Jesus, that at some point in his career he'd like to go back to whatever team in Argentina. Yeah. So if that's the case and that's his mentality, they got to look to the future, do you know what I mean? So Jesus is a guy that can come in, learn off of him, because Jesus is not the greatest goal scorer. He can improve on that aspect. So learn off of the guy, and then when Aguero's time comes, Jesus will be a ready-made guy to.
It's a good problem to have. Listen, they got a good mix of young and experienced talent. They got Silva, they got Aguero, they're legends, company legends. They got young talent coming up. So obviously, this 1 week you lot drew. It's nice to
take it on the chin.
Appreciate this week. You get it. So.
I still don't fear no team, but we take it on the chin, innit? We go again.
Can I just ask man one question?
Go on.
What?
Do you think it was a case of you not playing as well as you could, or Wolves played well? Because I think they played well. I think they done well.
Wolves played very well. Like, their tactics was on point.
Do you think this can be repeated by other teams though against you?
I doubt it, because Pep's a quick learner.
I'll back that. Yeah,
He's a quick learner, so he thinks, okay, teams might start to deploy this kind of tactic, so this is how I'm going to counter that tactic. So he's a clever guy. So I guarantee you, well, I'm not going to say too much, but I think when we play the Wolves again at our stadium, it's not going to be 1-1.
That probably won't be. But obviously, moving on to the final game.
They're not going to change.
Moving on to the final game, was it? Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Scraped it against Brighton.
Yeah, just about.
How do you feel, Ace?
3 points, clean sheet. Didn't really get our gear free, if you ask me. Could have done a lot more. A couple of players stand out. I think Ginny's really stepped up his game. I've got to give a shout out to him. He really has stepped up his game in these three games that we've played. And obviously Naby's come in, settling in yet. Hasn't quite hit the ground as running as what everybody thought he was going to be, but I think there's time there to improve. But yeah, that's it.
I
really.
see Ronaldo's got what, 90 minutes all 3 games, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Milner's played all 3 games, more or less 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, when's Fabinho going to be coming in, do you think, or is that?
Well, Klopp's already said that he's going to take his time with it. He's not going to rush him in, and especially with the way that we play. It's such a high intensity to bring in somebody in the middle of the park so soon. I think it will be such a huge risk, and Fabinho probably knows that himself. So yeah, I think it will take some time for him to come in. But the three that's in there at the moment, can't really ask much.
Yeah, because when you know, I can't lie, when you got like an English player like Milner in your team, he knows what the league is about. He knows he puts in 110% every game. You got
He's
to put
the
him
fittest guy at our club. He's the fittest guy there, and at 33, that says a lot.
No, you laughed at one stage with the clean sheet thing. Well, Liverpool's going to be your main contenders this year?
And they're going to be up there. But like Wes said against Chelsea, they haven't really been tested yet, innit?
Yeah,
so we'll see when they get a proper test. Because Alisson ain't no super keeper. He can be beaten. He just ain't been tested properly.
That's right.
So
he was doing a lot of stuff that day.
He was
doing too much.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, but you got to think of when you're grinding out results. Like, it wasn't a great game. Let's be
no,
honest.
it wasn't a great game.
No,
No, not at all. Like I said, we didn't even get out of great gear 3. Brighton came with a game plan, stuck by it. Some of their players did immense throughout the game, so I'm not going to take it away from them. They came to get a result, I think, and it was just for a great finish from Salah, to be honest, and we didn't really create much after that. There wasn't really any clear-cut chances that we thought, we're going to take the game to the next level, but we didn't. So that's a slight little worry at home against Brighton, an opposition that we thought, I mean, how many people had Salah or Mane as their fantasy captains this week? We thought we was going to run right on them. So it might be a slight little worry, but it's still early days.
I think it's going to be one of those seasons though. A lot of those teams that you expect him to roll over, they're going to fight back this season.
But we didn't do that last season, that's the thing. We didn't have that instinct to grind out this result.
Yeah,
like when we would go up 1-0, there would always be like a 15-20 minute period where there'd be nothing but panic. Whether it'd be set pieces coming in, there'd be panic. But I felt a little bit more calmness. There was a little bit of a phase, but it was a little bit more calm. It wasn't like last season, and we grinded it out, which we didn't do. So if we can carry on doing that,
then you know what, I feel like when you're playing against a rival players, a lot of the days you step up. Like look at the game you played at Anfield against Man City last season. It was 4-3 in it, and then Man City almost equalised on the last second. When it's against a rival, that is when the teams really step up, because you do not want to lose home or away. So against like other teams, like for example the smaller teams, like maybe your Fulham and that, they are going to put up a hell of a fight. Even Burnley, like for example like Man United now. We've got Burnley away and then we've got Watford away. Normally I would think, Man United, that's 6 points. Now I'm thinking, we'd be lucky if we could even get a win and a draw out of that.
Yeah.
Watford on 100%, aren't they?
Yeah. They're the surprise team so far, 3 out of 3.
I put them down for relegation and
the way Troy Deeney's playing at the moment, you know what I mean? So
to be honest, like, with Watford Pereira as well, that left winger they got, he looks decent. He's got 3 goals in 3 games so far. Like, he looks good for them. And Liverpool, you got 3 clean sheets, 3 wins, similar to Chelsea, 3 wins. Tottenham as well, 3 wins. So you're not going well. Obviously. You know what I mean? With City as well, even though they had a little blip, you know what City's about. They'll bounce back, I'm sure of it.
But against the Wolves, though, you know they're going to step up to play against Man City. All their players are going to be up for that game. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's a bit very similar to you guys as well.
Brighton.
Apparently Liverpool are in thing now, so. Brighton are probably going to come at that. You know what? Let's have a pop at these guys at Anfield. Let's try and get something off the ball, because not everyone's settled yet. You know, these teams haven't settled yet. You know, you guys grinded out a result against Newcastle. That's a big win for you guys.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. So you just have to look at things are very early. I mean, Spurs going to Old Trafford's a big win. Doesn't matter how you look at it. We don't perform there normally. You know, we get stuffed. But
I heard you lot put it in the trophy cabinet.
not yet.
You know what? I think now is the best time for like the smaller teams to play like the higher kind of teams, because Chelsea plays Newcastle. Let's say November, they roll them over like easily. But now Chelsea will be settled and
It's business.
But at the moment, the smaller clubs are thinking, well, it's still early on. Our fitnesses are either similar or better, because some of their players went to the World Cup. So now is the time, I think, when the smaller teams face the big clubs, they're taking the opportunities now, because I think they know within themselves as well. Should we play these lot in December, November? They're taking the 3 points. You know what I mean?
But there's also West Ham. West Ham didn't do too bad in the first half.
Oh, man. They were
Okay, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You know what? I nearly forgot about us. I was about to
What about West Ham?
we talk about us. let me talk. Look, I said 4-1 last week. I didn't see the game going like that. When I said 4-1, I thought we would have been in control. I thought they would have got a consolation goal. It would have been like kind of about 2 goals first half. Comes off for Lacazette, 60 minutes. Nice, smooth game.
It's a dream, like.
It's a bit. Listen, that is a. Looking at the West Ham game at home, it was kind of like they've lost to. Yes, it's transition for us. Yes, it's transition for them. But we've got the quality, and that's what shone through in the end. Our quality off the bench come through, and Arnautovic getting taken off was also a big thing. But looking at that game, some of our players are not sharp. Xhaka's still getting chances in the squad. I don't know why, but obviously signed a new contract. I feel like Torreira and Guendouzi need to come in. I've been screaming this for weeks, and to be honest, this week looking at it, Oba. He doesn't look sharp. I don't know how you lot feel, but Laka coming on. Laka's changed a couple games this season. His link-up plays, hold-up plays, got a lot more to prove. When I see Laka, it's a guy who's been dropped from the France squad, who got dropped from Arsenal in January last year for no real reason. It's just that Wenger decided to buy another striker. So he's got a lot more to prove, and I think he's trying to prove that I like what I'm seeing from him. He's not putting his head down. He's not asked for a move. So I feel like Laka needs to come in, but all in all, I'm happy to get the 3 points on the board. Do you know what I mean? We needed the 3 points, and yeah, look, Nana's laughing again, but at the end of the day, we're in very different situations right now. You know, we
How
are
confident
very
are you moving forward?
confident. Like my confidence is nowhere right now because I don't expect nothing right now. I want top 4 or Europa League, and we won't know about that
And then
until
win the Europa League.
either win the Europa League or get top 4. I want Champions League football next season.
Arsenal not winning the Europa League.
Why? Because who else is really in it?
Chelsea.
You're just not winning the Europa League. They don't have it in them. I don't see it.
It's a stretch. It
The
is a
manager's
stretch.
got a good record in that cup, but the squad he's with is just different. Like,
And that's why I'm like you said, how confident am I? I'm not that confident because the squad is not suited to him. Even Socrates was a signing before he even became manager. Socrates we signed when Arteta was still being interviewed. He's obviously not the ball playing centre back that Emery wants in the team because we're still passing to Mustafi. So I won't judge Emery based on this season too much, but I need to see a pressing style into a lot of these players. They need to understand the press. They need to understand the transition. They need to understand his style of play. Bellerin, Xhaka, Oba, Ozil. These players need to grasp this, and this is the year for them to do it. Am I confident? I like what I see from Emery. The first 3 games we ran the most in the Prem. Distance covered, we ran the most. Under Wenger, I can't say that. So that shows a difference in terms of work rate. So that I'll stick by.
So what do you want out of this? What's realistic for Arsenal out of this season?
This season,
Yeah.
what's realistic is a top 4 challenge and a Europa League challenge.
And you'll be cool with that.
I'll be cool with both of them, but I want to win one to get back in Champions League. For me to give Emery, or for us to give Emery the best possible playing field, we need to be in Champions League for him to get them sort of signings that can bring you.
Important.
If we don't make Champions League again next year, and Man United are definitely going to improve, Chelsea will definitely improve, Liverpool, City will improve, and you lot will probably improve. What are we going to do next season? What is my expectations when I know we haven't improved as much as the rest? Again, I could possibly say top 4 challenge.
But your transition is going to be completely different from everybody else's. You got to look at, you got to be realistic about this. Look at Man United. They're still going through a transition now, and Fergie left a long time ago.
6 years. It's a long
Ours is very
transition.
different. Fergie left Man United on the top of the table. Wenger left us 6th, basically bottom of the top 6 table, in essence. So the jobs are different. It's just that he needs to be backed by the board. Like people, the players that don't adjust
Does he
to
have
him.
that backing from you guys? Are you going to give him the time that he needs? Because look, let's be honest, Arsenal, to all of us, are a competing team. They're not, they're top 4. They're not top 6. They're a top 4 team. So in the longevity of the Premier League, they need to be back in that mix.
You know, one thing that people look over, is Wenger got let go last season, before the Atletico Madrid game. So the board were not happy with Wenger being 6th and being in the semi-final of the Europa League. That shows to me that even though I don't like Kroenke, he doesn't invest enough money, he mustn't be happy with 6th and a challenge for Europa League either. He mustn't be happy because you've let Wenger go for that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So looking at that, Emery this year, if you basically 5th, challenge for top 4 and Europa League semis or get to the final, try to get Champions League by all means possible. If you can do that and maybe not get over the line and not get Champions League, cool, we'll give you that, give you another summer but we need more investment now as well. Because if we don't get Champions League, the investment needs to cover up for it. The wages need to be higher. The transfer fees need to be higher to make up for the loss of Champions League. So it's going to go two ways. That's why this season for us, is like you said, it's completely different. We're in a completely different boat.
Don't you think Arsenal should be going at it game by game though?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think for even to say Europa League or top 6, you just don't know. You don't know what connection he's having with the
players. Do you know what it is? Do you know how I see the season, yeah? Europa League group stages, we're getting through. So we're in the Europa League till February. So February is the month we look at our season and say, where are we in the league? How far are we off top 4? And who have we got next in the Europa League and who's left in the Europa League? Who's gone in from Champions League? And we weigh up the probability of Champions League. Look at Jose done at United. Yeah. He dropped players for the league and put them. I'll be happy with that this season.
Okay, so expectation is that. What happens if that's not met?
If that's not met, I'm not going to blame Emery.
Okay, that's fine. Because that's the issue, is that if there is some sort of expectation for Arsenal there then. So it's not, like I said, this is all what we're used to with Arsenal. We're used to for them being in the mix and them competing at any level. So you are in Europa League. You're expecting them to do damage in that. So we have to be realistic with Emery and not overshoot, No,
100%. You know what? I think the fans know this season, man. Like, you'll get a couple of the people that love Wenger that will say Emery's not changed much. But if it doesn't work out in these next 2 years, Kroenke will be to blame because the money hasn't been invested. And to keep up with these big boys, we need money invested. And that's not the only thing, because you don't invest money and still can't keep up or match City, because now it's about who you put in charge, who you've got as
investing. We're not investing.
But the man you have in charge, Pochettino, is top 3, top 4 managers in the world right now.
Are you not trying to win stuff though?
Whoa. Expectation, I would say so, yes. I think going back a couple of years, I think the Leicester and the Chelsea game against Leicester, I think 2 of our players there, Danny Rose and Dembele, completely ruined
that was your best chance
for us. They got involved, but I think although we didn't win the league there, we didn't have a massive sort of withdrawal from it. We've been consistent competing with it. So we've always come up against the top 4 now and competed. So, I try to be a realist about football. I know where Tottenham are at, I know where we want to go, but I think until we move into our new stadium, are we realistically competing with the likes of Manchester City? We're not paying the wage budget, that's for sure.
I love Tottenham fans these days. Like, try to talk your way out of it.
I'm not talking my way out.
What are you expecting from your team?
I expect us to win something this season. FA Cup.
Okay, cool.
FA Cup.
And compete at least,
and compete for top 2 space.
Cool. I respect that.
Will we win the Premiership with Man City?
I don't want to hear all that stadium and progress and all that. Like,
no.
You're in the big boys' playground now.
But wait, you have to look at how Daniel Levy runs Tottenham as a football club. He is a strategist. It's not necessarily about winning titles, because if it would, we would have held on to Bale. If it would, we would have held on to Modric. He's let our best assets go. However, we had a massive blip when we invested all that money in Bale, and only one of those players was successful in Eriksen. And Lamela hasn't yet done what we're expecting him to do.
I've got faith in him,
But yes, all the Tottenham players do, because they see bits and pieces. Yeah. But if you ask me, can we win the Premiership unless we're competing with those other players? I don't know. I'm hoping that Tottenham are going to be hungry enough. We've got hungry players in our team. When you've got someone like Harry Kane who's carrying your team and promoting that good, what football is really about, like driving and trying to succeed and progress, Tottenham are not a team based on money. So if it's about football, then Tottenham, yes, we have a chance. But if it's about the money that's pumped in and then getting certain players coming in, then it's going to be difficult for us. Like, how are we going to compete? I think where Poch has done well is he's invested in youth players who are hungry. So therefore, those hungry players are the ones who are going to push us to the successful point. It's not going to be...
But there has to be some pressure on Poch this season, though. That's to be.
It's got to deliver.
That's to.
I don't know if there'll be pressure on Poch to deliver, because Poch is in a position where if he's not delivering, he's not going to be short of offers.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So is he in a position to no, not necessarily. Like I said, and this is what I'm saying, I'm not backing off or rerouting around the argument. Until Tottenham move into their new stadium, then they can't really justify anything else at the moment. But when we're getting a new stadium, 60,000, 63,000, 62,000, and we're generating certain amount of revenue, we can increase our wage budget. But where Daniel Levy is very strategic and rigid with the wage structure, we haven't brought in the transfer market. How can you justify that? How can anyone? Everybody's strengthened except for Tottenham. But I look at it as keeping Alderweireld is a positive signing for us. Keeping Danny Rose and actually starting to use him now, which I hope that's going to be the case, is positive for us. Holding on to Dembele, positive for us. You know, we've held on to our star players this season. It's just something we've never really done. We've always let our big boys go.
Do you know what it's like, basically? Like, before we signed Ozil, yeah, you couldn't really blame Wenger for not getting more than top 4 or not winning a trophy because the investment in the summer, he could always go, oh, we can't invest like so-and-so. What Jose is doing now, we could, in essence, save, which is what Tottenham are saying now. But when Wenger made the Ozil signing, when we bought Sanchez, when we bought Czech, it was like, okay, times are changing. Now we can hold you culpable because you're making bigger signings and you're not improving on the top 4. You in fact on 5th and 6th. So it's the same with Pochettino. Like, I can't judge him too much compared to Liverpool, City, United and Chelsea. I'd still say, realistically, if you ask me based on investment, based on like the squad as a whole, yeah, Tottenham will be 5th in my opinion. But Pochettino brings them up that level to 4th, 3rd.
To be fair, with Tottenham, it's like, alright, cool, they didn't sign no one, but they still have the consistency of their squad. Like, no one needs to adapt to the league in their team. Like, everyone knows what they're doing. Only thing that can get, like, to me, they can only get better. Because he can just say to them, what can we do from last season that, you know what I mean? What can we improve on last season? So his players can only get better. And like we said at the beginning, Moura is like a completely different player now. Like, his fitness levels is up. He's in tune with how the squad plays. So that's a positive for their team. Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's what you got to look at the same with Liverpool with Mourinho. I think that's what's going to happen. The Premiership is the toughest league in the world. You can't just come into the Prem and make changes. Lucas Moura dipped in and out of the squad last season. We saw some good bits and pieces. Primarily did bits in the Champions League here and there. But
He weren't ready. He weren't ready yet.
He weren't ready, totally. But now he's come on and it's like, we're asking a question now. Is Son going to get back in the team? It's true. You know?
So
if you ask me, I would say Dele occasionally is the person who can switch off. I think he gets heavily distracted with what goes on. A bit like Jesse Lingard as well, the same thing. Players who we're expecting now to produce because they've done little bits and pieces, although I think Jesse was obviously better than Dele at the World Cup. But I feel like, you know, I can't see them pulling out Moura now after 2 goals in 3 games.
He'll keep his place in the team.
Yeah,
he'll keep his place in the team.
So now, like, although we haven't invested, we've done things in January that are now looking forward. We've not held on to Harry Kane, but, you know, put a new contract down. Like, this is looking forward for Tottenham. So, you know, where we haven't really been as consistent in the top 4 as what other teams mentioned are, like your Man United, like your Chelsea's, like your Liverpool's, your Arsenal's, and your Man City's. Tottenham are now a driving force. Like, we're competing for 2nd, 3rd every season.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. When I look back at the last 5 years, Tottenham have made top 4 3 out of the 5 years. Yeah. That's more than United, I think. Same as Arsenal.
You know, we were scraping for competing with you guys when you were obviously on the decline for top 4, and it was we won the Champions League. Now we're hitting Champions League consistent every season. Money's coming in, new stadiums getting built. I think once we're in that new stadium, I think you'll see a big change in wage structure. I think we'll start probably going to invest heavily somewhere along the line, whether that be to bring Bale back. I can't see him going to United now.
No, he's going to be pushing 30 now, isn't he?
It's nothing to go to.
But bro, that's as much as I want to talk about Tottenham's bright future. That's it for match day 3 roundup. Looking at match day 4, I'm looking at the fixtures now. Starting the weekend with Saturday afternoon kickoff, Leicester Liverpool. Ace, how do you see that one going?
It'll be a tough game.
Vardy back.
Yeah, he served his 1 match ban. I think he did.
Was it 1 match ban? 3 match.
Is it 3 match?
Yeah. So I think it'll still be a tough game. Hopefully we'll get out of gear 3, maybe win 3-4-1, but I think we'll concede in this game. I think we'll concede in this game.
So you think 3-4-1?
Yeah, 3-4-1.
Madison looks good for Leicester though.
Yeah, I think there's a few players that looks good for Leicester. Damari Gray, he's been there for a while now, hasn't really had his chance, but yeah, he looks sharp. I think Southgate's thinking about bringing him into the England team as well. Yeah, they've got a few good players.
So you're going for 3-4-1, yeah?
I'll get 3-4-1 Liverpool, yeah.
What about quick predictions round the room, Wes?
I'm going to say, for Liverpool-Leicester?
Yeah, Liverpool
I'm
away.
going to say it's going to be 2-1 Liverpool or draw.
2-1 or draw? No?
2-2.
2-2, yeah?
2-2.
2-2?
Is it home or away?
Leicester's home.
Leicester's at home. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leicester win.
2-1 Leicester, so it's going to be
Without
tight, 2-1s and
without
2-2.
Do you know what? chances they could. I ain't gonna lie, seriously. Once I just got that feeling. I just got that feeling. Seriously.
What did you feel last night?
Do you know what? Do you know what? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Know what, Joy? Not even you thought you would win 3-0 last night. So yeah, I know, man.
The next match of the weekend, Chelsea Bournemouth, Saturday 3 p.m. Mac, how do you see that one going?
Chelsea win, obviously. It'll be a good game. Feel a bit more open because Bournemouth play football, but we'll get the win eventually.
Score?
2-0.
2-0, yeah?
Maybe 1-0. One of those games.
Yeah.
It'll be a tight game, I reckon.
You're happy with the squad? Don't want to see no changes? Like, you're happy with
I'm happy, you know. I'm happy. Jorginho's he's running stuff in there in the middle of the park. Kante, that advanced position, he's looking good there.
Yeah.
Barkley's he's doing a job. You never know. He might have more to show.
He brings that English mentality, and like
You know what I mean?
that
That graft. Like, he's got that graft in there. Obviously, Hazard's doing what Hazard does. Pedro's been looking lively.
Yes, again, yeah.
So it was good to see Giroud back. I'm saying he didn't help with the header to keep it. That's what he does. He just keeps the ball ticking. But other than that, we're all right, man.
So 2-0, yeah?
2-0 Chelsea, 1-0 maybe.
Adrian, prediction for that one?
Do you know what?
Chelsea home.
Chelsea's home. Oh, I see. If I was about to say, if it was Bournemouth at home, then I'll probably say it would probably be a draw because they seem to be the king of comebacks.
Yeah,
But you know what?
Bournemouth are there
If it's Chelsea at home, then I'll probably go with 2-0 Chelsea win.
2-0 as well, Nana?
1-1.
1-1, yeah? Chelsea home.
Look at my eyes when you say that, bro.
1-1, bro.
Say it 1-1.
I said, look in my eyes.
1-1, bro.
1-1. Aye, next week will be
I'm
interesting.
going to
Yeah.
say Chelsea are going to squeeze it 1-0, I think.
1-0, yeah?
Yeah.
Ace?
Well, easy Chelsea win, 3-0.
3-0, yeah. To be honest, I didn't even say a Liverpool score. I think Liverpool will win that 2-3-1, and I think Chelsea will win that 2-3-0. Home to Bournemouth. But you've had, that should be.
Bournemouth have been playing alright football though.
They have been, but I just, you
They
know, got the
always
quality.
have though, haven't they?
You got the quality.
I think Chelsea are going to, like, coming off that Newcastle result, though, I think people are going to think, let's try and get at Chelsea a bit. And Bournemouth are the team to do that. So,
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Moving on to Man City, Newcastle, 5:30 Saturday. Nana?
Yeah, we should bounce back from last week. I think Pep kind of he's gonna get the boys firing again. So even though Newcastle are gonna sit back, make it very difficult for us. Like, I think it's important how early we score the first goal. If we wait till 80th, 70th minute, then. But if we get an early goal like we did against Huddersfield, I could see a big battering.
So what are you going for then? Where are you going to
go for 3-0.
3-0, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, at home? Yeah, 3-0. To be honest, I'll back that one, 3-0 as well. Adrian, how do you see that one going?
3-0 City win.
Yeah,
Easy.
3-0.
4-5.
4-5. Where's
3-1.
3-1, yeah. See you conceding. Ace?
Yeah, I think it's a route, 4-5.
Yeah.
Aguero hat-trick.
Same sort of result there.
Didn't he get 5? Hasn't Aguero got 5 against
He
Newcastle
scored
once?
5 goals.
He's
against
got
them
5
before.
against Newcastle once.
Oh shit, yeah. That's my
he's
captain
better
this
than
week,
him.
boy. Putting that guy straight in. Next up, Sunday 1:30. It's us playing away to Cardiff. To be honest, I've looked at it. Cardiff ain't scored this season. They lost 2-0 opening day. Did they lose 2-0 opening day to? I think it was Everton. No, they drew 0-0 to Everton. Everton had 10 men. They drew 0-0 to Huddersfield. Huddersfield had 10 men. They lost 2-0 to Bournemouth opening day of the season. I can't listen. Even though it was an inspiring performance against West Ham, even though we didn't deserve the 3-1 result, I feel like we need to just get this away win under our belts. And if we start lacquer, I'm gonna go for a 3-0, 3-1. That's if we start lacquer, because I just feel like he's sharp right now. He's hungry. He wants some goals. But I'm going for a 3-0, 3-1. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. But we'll go around again. We'll start with Nana this week.
Is it on TV?
Yeah, 1:30. It should be Super Sunday. Yeah.
1-0 Cardiff.
1-0 Cardiff. Man ain't said nothing. Man ain't said nothing. Why you saying why not?
1-0 Cardiff.
Yeah,
innit?
cool. We'll have that,
It's on
innit?
TVs.
Because it's on TV, it's going to be
and they're at
1-0.
home to their fans. They're going to be very motivated to get the first win and the first goal.
Yeah, we are dead away. Fair
And
enough.
I think if they score first, Neil Warnock's got it in him to get his team to defend it.
Ah, cool. 1-0, you know. Fucking hell. Ace. What do you think?
2-1 Arsenal win.
2-1 Arsenal.
There'll be a
I'm
struggle.
gonna say 3-1 Arsenal win, but I think it's gonna be tight.
Like the West Ham game.
Yeah.
Mac.
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal, yeah.
I'm
Adrian?
going with 2-1 Arsenal as well.
2-1 Arsenal. So it's only none of the pagan this week that wants to go against Arsenal. Yeah. No, I'm joking, obviously. So what's the last match of the week? Who's superstar? It's not even the last match. It's two matches at 4 p.m. innit? Yeah, there's Watford, Tottenham, Sunday 4 o'clock. Wes?
I'm gonna say we're vibing at the moment. After that Man United win, I think we're gonna reckon we can take anyone away. So I'm gonna say 2-0 Tottenham.
2-0?
Yeah.
Watford have won 3 out of 3 as well, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Tottenham are different this year, you know.
Look at your face.
They've got a map on their kit this time.
The map
That's
of North
right.
London.
Hey, we went to school here, you know.
Oh, I can't believe that, you know. In all my years alive, I've never seen such a thing, man. Tottenham to do North London on their
Arsenal
chest.
confident enough to do it.
It's mad. Like I said, we could put London on our chest, bro. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget. Because if we
A
got
whole London, you know.
Yeah.
how many titles you got to have, fam?
More than you, mate.
Fam, how many titles?
More
Premier
than-
League didn't start.
Yeah.
Didn't start.
Mate.
9-1 or
Talking
whatever.
about football you never watched.
History is history, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Champions League, isn't it?
Tell him.
Same way we can put London on our chests, yeah. City can't put Manchester on their chest even,
fair
and
enough.
understand that for a good 20 years. You might not be alive before you lot can put.
We know we're chasing it, it's
Yeah,
fine.
chase that in there. Just understand Tottenham and Chelsea are chasing our record in London, alright? We might be dead for the past 10 years, but they're chasing our record. Like,
It's not an impressive record to chase, to be fair.
14.
Chasing United's one is
14,
something of a
aye.
more of a challenge than what you lot did.
Oh, we're six
Chelsea will
we're
match
6
that
off
soon.
being the
Give them 3 years, they will match that.
we're 6 titles off being top. In our lifetime, that's more. You could see that. You can see 6 more titles. If we get bought outside and someone comes in, 6 titles is nothing.
What, the Premier League? Not
6 titles is
not
nothing.
what it used to be. We're talking about the Premier League.
Tell him.
Okay, you don't want the history before you all of that.
Nah.
No?
No.
It's irrelevant.
So it's only 3 titles.
Before my time. Sorry, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Alright, cool. So who's next? Actually, what for Tottenham? We need to go around the room, innit? No.
3-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Tottenham.
Yeah.
Ace.
2-0 Tottenham.
2-0 Mac.
3-0 Tottenham.
2-2.
You know what?
Listen, Watford are decent, bro.
I can't
They're
lie.
decent.
Watford are on
Is
it.
Watford
and
at
I'm-
I feel like Adrian
Watford's
said
at
that
home.
with a lemon, like with something.
You know what? I'm gonna go for Watford Tottenham. Pereira. Who's Tottenham's right back? Nah.
Trippier.
Trippier.
I'm going for 2-2 as well. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 as well, man. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 as well.
When they win this, man.
And moving on to the last game, Burnley United.
Ooh.
At
Tough
Burnley,
one.
At Burnley.
Yeah,
At Burnley.
You know what, yeah.
Oi.
I was at the United Burnley game away last season and they just managed to scrape that 1-0. That was tight. You know what? I know Burnley's in Europa League now, so they're going to play on the Thursday. So do you know what? Them, bit of fatigue might kick in, but I still think it's going to be a tight game, even though they got steamrolled by Fulham the other day. But 2-1 United.
2-1, yeah.
I'm going to go with 2-1. I'll be
Okay.
optimistic. 2-1.
Mac.
2-1 Burnley.
2-1 Burnley. To be honest, Burnley are dead right now as well. They've lost. They lost 3 out of 3 or 2 out of 3, something like that. Burnley
United
are
are
lost 2
rattled.
draws.
That's what I'm saying.
Lost
And
two
Burnley are out
United
for
are
these games.
rattled.
They're out for these games. They got nothing to lose.
Listen, Sean
Yeah.
Dyche is going to tell his players.
They've got nothing to
Yeah,
lose.
That's
do you know
it.
what I mean?
They'll be up for it. They'll be
Do you
up
know what I
for
mean?
I'm going for a 2-1 Burnley as well. Sorry. No.
Yeah, I'm with you. 2-1 and Burnley.
Where's
1-0 Burnley.
1-0 Burnley? Yeah. Ace.
Yeah, 1-0 Burnley.
it.
as well.
Jesus. I got no love, bro. I got no love today, bro.
Jamal, what are you saying behind the camera? Quickly. I want to hear your prediction. I just want to hear your
It's
prediction.
realist.
Just say the prediction. 1-0 United. Yeah.
There you go.
On goal.
That's it for the predictions for match day 4. Thank you for tuning in again. Obviously, subscribe, like, share. Thanks to Adrian for coming down. Thanks to Mac, Nana, Wes, and Ace for all showing up today. Stop patting your
Oh, you
back
want to see
there,
the
man.
map? You want to see the map of Tottenham first?
Come on,
You
come
want to see the map
on.
of North London?
Where's Rosie
Come
going to show you the
on.
map of
Wait,
North
wait, let me show
London?
them the map. Look. Wait. Look.
Yeah, you man run north,
Can
yeah?
you see that? That's North London.
When you man run north.
Wait. What? Zoom in on that.
Hey, that's it. It's getting cut from there.